Hi, Dr. Sunshine here, and today I wanted to talk to you about a very important topic that we're all going through right now, which is dealing with COVID pandemic and what it's done to our lives, basically. So first I'll share my experience. Some of you already have heard about it, but when the COVID first started, I think I contracted it right away. You'll know my immune system. So I was put on quarantine for 2 weeks. And that's a bad thing for me. So during those 2 weeks, all of a sudden, I found myself searching on the internet and going down the rabbit hole of healing crystals, something that I never believed in before, never practiced, don't know how and why it even came up. Well, actually I do. It's called magical thinking. That's what we do when we are faced with uncertainty and feel helpless. It's a sort of thinking like wanting a quick fix, magical solution. Sure, you can relate. So anyway, down the rabbit hole I went, and I can tell you I have spent my kids' college fund on all these beautiful crystals, and I have tons and tons. I still have some remnants. I still have a bunch in my bra. See, they're all supposed to do different things, but this is the end of the phase. Yeah, but during the phase I actually did crystal grids, which are based on the principle of sacred geometry, and I had them for all different types and purposes. And my husband started to freak out because they kind of look like pentagrams a little bit. Yeah, they do. So he staged an intervention, and he was just like, that's it, I'm really worried you're losing your damn mind. Well, he was no better, because he kept filling our living room with Doctor Who toys, which I never even knew such thing existed, but apparently it's a British show, and he started buying toys. He never did that before. And I don't think he even opened them. But anyway, these are just two examples of how we all are reacting to the situation happening right now, the uncertainty, the feeling of grief over what we lost, what can never be. It's a very, very tough and unpredictable time. And a lot of psychology experts actually say that the feelings of helplessness and unpredictability are the two main ingredients to create an experience of trauma. So there you have it. It's very serious. And people are coping in all ways they know how. 55% in the first week is the number of sales for alcohol went up. 55%. Makes sense. And then we also have huge rise in suicides and depression, and of course relapses. And that's just the beginning, and we still don't know what's happening. So today I just wanted to quickly touch on the things that we can do that are very healthy for us, instead of all those other things that we know are probably not that good. Anyway, so here's some of the strategies. Number one, structure your day. Works for everything, and my favorite. So in that way you have some sense of control, some sense of predictability about your day. So you may not know what's gonna happen tomorrow or a year from now, but you do know what you are gonna do at 9 a.m. and at 10 a.m. So that gives you back that sense of control and predictability. Number two, engage in some form of creation or creativity, such as it can be as small as cooking. I mean, that's not small. I can't cook, but cooking something from scratch again can give you a sense of mastery, a sense of accomplishment. For me, it was actually starting this blog. That's how this blog was born, the Recovery Nook. It was being on quarantine for those 2 weeks, and after my intervention with the crystals, that's when I finally found this way, to gain some sense of mastery and sense of still having control over my environment by creating something. Speaking of blogs, blogging is shown to be one of the best strategies to also master any experience, any new situation, fears, anxiety, depression. So lots of research shows that when people blog about their experiences, it's almost like they start to own that narrative. So they become observers. So they're not as enmeshed with that. And I can tell you, when I first moved from New York City to Bath, I started blogging because that was my only way to survive the big change. And so I would observe and I would blog, and in that way I was kind of imagining I was a journalist, writing about what it's like to live a life in the rural area. So that's another way, while obviously practicing pausing and mindfulness. Just pausing before you make any decision, because like I said, during pandemic because we have that sense of unpredictability and helplessness, which create a state of trauma. As you know, our primitive brain kicks into fight or flight, and our frontal brain, which is responsible for planning, seeing the consequences of our actions, impulse control, that part goes offline. So because during fight or flight survival situations, we don't need to be thinking about our life philosophy, right? So basically right now we are all ruled by our limbic system. So when that happens, you're much more prone to act out, be impulsive, act in ways that are really harmful to you, and that you're gonna regret later. But so one simple thing, just before you do anything, just pause and just give yourself a minute. Just promise yourself that you'll do that. And after the minute, just ask, do I really need this huge ass crystal from this Australian crystal site, or not? And you know what? We all have the deep wisdom within us. We all do. And we all always know what the right thing is, only if we listen to it. We have to listen to it, but we always do. It's always there. And another thing is engaging in some type of exercise, movement, any type of movement, yoga, dance, belly dance, Zumba, walking is really good for traumatic situations like we are in now, because they actually, again, help us feel in control of our body. And it's really subtle, but that's how the brain knows that we are still in control and in feeling of mastery of our own body. And that's what we need to feel to get out of this fight or flight reaction. So these are just some quick tips. I actually think I have much more. I'll put a link to my original blog post on this topic, and you can read all of the advice that I gathered from all different experts in psychology of pandemic and trauma. And also, please share your own coping skills. I think that this is the whole idea for this blog and these videos, is to create this community that helps each other. Maybe you have some brilliant idea that might help somebody else. Please post it in comments, or post if you found any other things I talked about helpful or unhelpful. Another thing that I just wanted to mention is very important: stay in contact with your loved ones by phone or video, and that is extremely important for those of us who have any type of disorder we're dealing with, such as depression, anxiety, substance use disorders, because we have to stay connected even if it's hard. So on my in my link to the blog post, I have posted some websites to online community meetings like NAAA and bunch of others. Apparently, I also found there's one for Crystal Hoarders Anonymous. Seriously, I'm part of it. Yeah, that's just another thing I needed, to develop a crystal hoarding disorder. But there we have it. What am I gonna do? Also, let me know if you want to see some of my crystal collection. I'm super proud of it, and I really want to share it with somebody, anybody. All right, guys, take care. And before I go, sorry, here they are. This is my Big Daddy. That cost a lot. That's citrine, supposed to be good for happiness, energy. This is adamite, some some rose quartz, dolomite, and this is ruby zoist, something like that. My little crystal grid for grounding. This one is for anxiety. And this is my sphere of Unikite. And here's my sphere of Rainbow Obsidian. And my cube of Shungite. This is another Shungite. See, and this is actually what I drank from. This is citrine filled water bottle.